Hey again, everybody. So back with another video. I'm not going to really be responding to anything in this video. This is rather a test. I am going to be using this video making right now to practice my editing skills. I have the CapCut app on or software on my laptop, so I'm going to be using that as a means of potentially making videos in the coming weeks, months, years that are more captivating. Background music, things on the screen that pop up as I'm speaking, as I'm talking. And in this particular video that's going to be posted on my philosophy playlist, because I love philosophy, but it is not the queen of the sciences. Theology is, so I love theology even more. And I'm glad that I was exposed to theology before I was exposed to philosophy, because if I was exposed to philosophy before theology, I would have become an atheist. And that would have been a very, very bad position to be in with the intellect that God has given me and in the country that I am, which is Jamaica. In Jamaica, we don't have a lot of intellectuals, in my opinion, because I haven't met very much. And the reason why it would be a problem for me as an atheist in Jamaica would be the fact that the vast majority of Christians and pastors would not be able to answer the objections to Christianity that I would have. And because I started out studying theology before philosophy, and I essentially became a Calvinist, a Reformed Christian, also identified as the intellectual Christians, the ones who actually deal with all of the difficult questions and give answers. I found that after I was introduced to philosophy, all the questions that philosophy offered to Christianity and the arguments that philosophy offered to Christianity, such as the problem of evil, in its attempt to refute Christianity, I already had the answers. So I love theology more than philosophy, but I love philosophy because philosophy really helps to categorize things and create taxonomy and nomenclature for things, and being able to explain phenomenon around you that you can only explain philosophically, because philosophers have thought about these things and have explained these things. And even if you don't explain them the way that the philosophers do because they drew false conclusions, you can use their jargon, use their vocabulary, and theologize it and present it. And it is an amazing mix, as long as you keep theology in its supreme position. Anyways, getting on to what I came on here to talk about, which is philosophy. So I want to talk about the branch in philosophy called axiology. And axiology is the philosophical investigation of value judgments. So it's about moral ethics. It's about right and wrong, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, permissible, impermissible, good, supererogatory, all those semantics under the umbrella of axiology or moral ethics philosophy. So I want to talk about what I like to call the OUPPP. And what that is are 5 elements or characteristics that every moral principle has to have in order for that moral principle to be qualified as a moral principle. And I'm going to explain what those are. The first one is the O. What is the O? The O is the word for the letter for the word overriding. And it means that your desire to do otherwise than your moral principle commands does not determine you, or as I would say, does not cause you to do otherwise. And for lack of a better explanation, That is what it is. But I'm going to explain it a little bit simpler because I think I can. If you have a command from the Bible, since I'm a theologian, I can use the Bible as an example, that says don't steal. And you are in a situation where you really want to steal. If you decide that you're not going to steal and you don't, your moral principle is overriding. So that's the best way I can explain it, by using an example. And I could explain it even more and be more complex in how I explain it, but why would you want to be complex in how you explain things? It's just not practical and not productive for this discussion. What you can do is just skip me or turn this video off if I'm too complex in my explanation. So let's move on to the next one. The U stands for universal. It is not only wrong for me to steal, but it's wrong for everybody else to steal. And this is, if you're thinking in your mind, is he imposing his morality on me? Oh, yes, I am. We all impose our morality on everyone. The moment you see someone stealing your car, you're going to tell them that they are supposed to stop because you think it's wrong. As one of the reasons why you're telling them to stop. But we all impose our moral principles on people, especially our children. If you raise your child to be a certain way, you're imposing your moral principle on your child. You can't escape it. If you have a spouse, if you have a girlfriend, if you have a man, the moment you tell him not to do something because it makes you unhappy, you're imposing your moral principle on him. So don't even come here with that. Say that I'm not supposed to impose my morality on you. Sorry, my words are the way they are. It's because I'm tired. Right now it's 12:08 and I had a long day. I'm sorry if I mumble a little bit. So universal means it's not only wrong for you, it's wrong for everybody else. So that's the OU. Now for the triple P. So we have prescriptive, we have public, and we have practical. Prescriptive means it is commanded of you to do a certain thing, be a certain way. It's actually propositions, laws, commands. The Bible provides that. Other moral principles do provide that. And catechism, creeds, etc., etc. It's actually outlined. It's prescriptive. It prescribes a way of life. The next one is public. You're doing the things that your moral principle says you're supposed to do in the open, in public. And not only are you doing those things in public, but your moral principle is public. So people can hold you accountable to your moral principle. People can read your moral principle. People can see your moral principle, and they can hold you accountable to it. Because not only do you practice your moral principle in public, but it is also publicly accessible. And finally, it has to be practical. It has to be things that you can actually do, things that you can actually follow, things that you can actually live by. What if you had a moral principle that says you're wrong if you breathe? It's not practical. You follow that moral principle, you'll die. You gotta breathe. But anyways, I'm gonna post this on my YouTube channel. So if you see it on my playlist, my philosophy playlist, it is intentional. And if you hear some music in the background, you see some things popping up on the screen like letters, it's because I'm making an attempt to, edit. Anyways, have a good one. This concludes our little discussion. God bless you all.